Hey, hockey lovers and card lovers, why not play a game in this week's episode? What would you do with $1,000? So let's see the low risk, low reward scenarios and also the high risk, high reward scenarios. It's the off season. Why not have fun and play a game? Let's go. What's up, hockey lovers and hockey card lovers? Welcome to another episode of the SlabStox Puck Drop. My name is Greg, your hockey loving, French speaking host, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today. Why not play a game? As I said in the intro, it's the off season. Why not have some fun? Yes, we can look at the market in there, but we know that most of the market is down, and it's completely normal because it's the off season. It's buying season in the case of a lot of players, and while a lot of collectors are looking to add probably some of their favorite players cards to their collections, also investors are looking into what they can get to prepare themselves for the seasons, and it's completely normal. So why not go with some low risk, low reward scenarios, or probably low risk, high reward. We will see. And high risk, high reward. Oh my God. It's so early in the morning. I'm sorry about that. I should have had another coffee before uh, recording this episode. Bear with me, guys. So, high risk, high reward scenarios might be interesting as well. So, let's discuss a couple of players. Of course, these are some of the scenarios that we can build, but there could have been hundreds, probably even thousands of different options. I went with what I would probably do with $1,000 budget, but also you can leave your suggestions in the comments. It will be a pleasure to chat with you, and you guys will probably have better ideas than I had. But let's go with what I thought. So, what would you do with $1,000? Just to quote Dr. Revel right here. The first one I'm going for is a let's limit the risk that we could have on four different players, and I went with YG's PSA 10s because of the lowest pop that you could get. You could also go with a lot of raw YGs or all that stuff, but PSA 10s tend to be a sure shot in the hobby depending on the players. But these four players are all young studs in the league, and their market is pretty down right now depending on who they are on the different season they had. So let's look at all of these individually. So the first one I went for is Jason Robertson, PSA 10 YG. As you can see, the value on screen, the last sold price was $177 USD. This card went way up in different times in the season when he was playing very well, scoring a lot of goals. He's still very young, plays in a great team. And once again, I mean, Jason Robertson is an American forward. He has a bright future in the NHL, and I think this is the time that you could probably have a good opportunity to buy him in the offseason because his price is so low. It's the same thing for the other one on the right, Cole Caulfield, YG PSA 10. Cole Caulfield was one of the most spectacular goal scorers in the league before he got his season ending shoulder injury. He will be back in full force next season with the Montreal Canadiens. The card ladder value on his YG PSA 10 is 245 US dollars, which is very, very good right now. If you believe once again in Cole Caulfield, I think this is a low risk. It might be even high reward depending on the season he's having, but I don't really see his market dipping more than what it is right now. He just signed a huge contract with the Montreal Canadiens for 8 years, so he will be staying in this very decorated franchise, the most historical franchise in all of the NHL. So why not? And another interesting player, in my opinion, the second most spectacular player in the NHL. If you know me, look at my hat right there. You know I enjoy watching Jack Hughes playing, and he's been spectacular last season. Almost had 50 goals scored, 100 points, and this could be the season where, with the recent moves they made in the offseason, the New Jersey Devils go deeper in the playoffs, and Jack Hughes and this young team are, I believe a lot in them. So with the price he is right now, with 246 US dollars, that might be interesting. The risk here, though, is the population on this card. Look at the pop. 3,700 PSA 10s. That is completely crazy. The pop is astronomical. But hey, if he continues to display all of his talent, how spectacular he is, has a great season, stays healthy, once again, I think his market could grow tremendously. And this card still has room to grow, just like Robertson and Caulfield. And last but not least, the fourth on this list that I wouldn't think I could add in this lineup is Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner, YGPSA 10. Look at last sold at 265 US dollars. Card Ladder establishes the value at 280, and the pop is very low for a card from 2016. 1,260 only. And look at his market. Very interesting here in the last year. Mitch Marner, even though he had a great season with the Toronto Maple Leafs, they finally went to the second round in the playoffs. And it's the most mediatized, the most important franchise right now in the NHL in terms of value, in terms of dollars, market, everything. And what's interesting, say, Greg, hey, his card dipped by 40% in the last year. Yes, but look at that. In the past month, only 25%. So you see the card that fluctuated a lot in the past year, but the trend has been accelerating in the past month. So right now might be a very good opportunity to buy some Mitch Marner. Like I said, he's a very, very good player. Toronto born and raised. Playing in a Canadian team for a long time with Austin Matthews, and a lot of players are uncertain right now with the Toronto Maple Leafs. One thing's for sure, Mitch Marner will stay there long term as well. So might have, once again, a great buying window for Mitch Marner in the greatest. I mean, the greatest. Whoa. They haven't won a cup in a while, but one of the most important franchise in the league, if not, like I said a few seconds ago, the most mediatized and the most valued franchise in all of the league. So I believe a lot in that move. I bought myself some Mitch Marner, this exact card. I got some this week, putting the money where the mouth is. So here we go. Another scenario, well, three other scenarios that value the same. Once again, in our $1,000 budget, why not going with Alexander Ovechkin? If you want to go with his YG, you have to go on one of the raw versions. You can get a raw version in a pretty good shape. Of course, probably this card, these raw cards won't gem. They were released in 2005, so if you can still, you cannot grade these cards and expect them to gem. But if he goes and beat Wayne Gretzky's record, which I pretty much think he will, not this season, that's for sure, but long term, I mean, he could play a couple of seasons, still score 25 goals a season and still win and get that record. The last sale of this card was 907 US dollars. I expect it to grow a little. And if you look at his market, it dipped in the past year as well. He had a great season. The end of the season wasn't so great in Alex Ovechkin's case, but yeah, a lot of people in the hockey world believe that he will beat that record. When is that going to be? We don't know. But once again, low risk, low reward. You can get growth on that card if you get it at that price. I think so. This is only my opinion once again. And in the same realm of things, Patrice Bergeron SP Authentic Future Watch PSA 10 from 2003, 2004. Last sold price was exactly that, around $1,000. Patrice Bergeron will come back I think, most probably think, will come back for a last season in the Bruins lineup. It will be the centennial season for the Bruins this, and they want their captain there. Even though he's playing just a few games in the season, you don't expect him to be there for the whole 82 games and in the playoffs as well. But I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he will be back for another season. And once again, at that price, if you see Patrice Bergeron having a few great performances, if the Bruins go deep in the playoffs, and he's retiring at the end of the season, people will want these cards, that's for sure. Very, very low pop. And Patrice Bergeron will always be a Bruins legend. That's for sure. Probably also a Hall of Famer. Well, probably most probably a Hall of Famer. So low risk and low reward. Low reward in that case, once again, and his teammate David Pasternak, Pasta Man. Um, I put his YG PSA 10 in there because it's probably even rarer than it is for a future watch. But if you could get either a future watch or a YG PSA 10, about the same value, $1,000. And David Pasternak has always been an undervalued player in the hobby and of great talent. That being said. Now, onto the risky business. High risk, high reward as well. A couple of scenarios. And the first one I've got is this one here. Two Future Watch PSA 10s from two different players. The first one is Josh Norris, center for the Ottawa Senators, that had to sit out all of last season with a knee injury, a knee surgery, and now he's coming back. And of course, the price of 2005 $205 on the last sold, and you can see card value. Card ladder put the value of this card even lower, so might be very interesting there. A lot of upside for sure, but let's say he's coming back, cannot go and perform as we expect him to perform, and might even get injured again. Is he fragile now? We don't really know. So there's of course a lot of risk. To me, a lot of reward as well, because his price is so low right now. And if you pair that with the other man you see on screen, Trevor Zegras. Trevor Zegras had a tough season last season. Now his Future Watch PSA 10 has been sold for $800. So if you combine both of these cards, you get that $1,000 value. But to me, if Trevor Zegras gets another disappointing season with the Ducks, people will start looking somewhere else. Even though he's a spectacular player, he can put on a lot of goals, a lot of points, and the future is bright in Anaheim. There's a lot of talent. People will probably start and look elsewhere to get some upside, some cards that have a lot of upside. So here we are for Trevor Zegras. Also, the pop is very low on this card. So as the season goes, as people open more box of this SP Authentic from 2021 and 22, you can expect probably to see the pop rise. Well, probably, most probably, certainly see the pop rise on these cards as well. So here we go for Trevor Zegras. This is my first high risk, high reward scenario. Let's say he performs to the extent of his talent. I'm sure this card has a lot of upside. Now let's head over to Slab Sharks. As you know, it's the best place to buy and consign hockey cards on eBay. Let's go see what they have in store for this Thursday night auction. All right, you know what time it is? One of my favorite moments of the week, and that is the moment where we look at what Slab Sharks has in store for us on their Thursday night auction. Look at that beauty, Austin Matthews. Yes, here we go. Austin Matthews, Future Watch auto patch. You don't see that very often coming out of someone's collection. So right now the bid is at 3,200 Canadian dollars, which is pretty interesting with his contract situation and where we don't know if we'll stay in Toronto or get traded and pursue his career somewhere else. So that's a pretty interesting card right here to get. Also, why not a great Connor McDavid. Two great Connor McDavid cards right here. And as we discussed just a few seconds ago, everything that is Alexander Ovechkin might be a great low risk, low reward. I'm sorry about that. This is early in the morning. Um, yeah, might be an interesting play here. And once again, you don't see these coming out too often. 2005 Upper Deck, the Cup, limited logos auto patch out of 50. So a great card right here. A one of one Austin Matthews. So lots of Austin Matthews card on auction, and one of my favorite sets, Panini Dominion from 2012. Look at that patch. A Patrick Roy, probably the best goaltender to ever play the game, if you ask me. So great low number patch right here. And what a great auto number 33 has. So lots of great cards, hundreds of great cards of hockey legends. As you can see, Pavel Bure here on screen, and also great players in the deals. And when I say also great players, why not having one of actually a crowd favorite here in Montreal, not one of their top defensemen, but Arbor Jacki, a high gloss out of 10. That might be very interesting, and I'm going to like this one right here to see where it ends up. So head over to SLAB Sharks eBay account, the best place to buy and consign hockey cards on eBay, and they're great Thursday night auction. All right, second scenario, two big players, big format players, power forwards, two centers that are playing for two different teams. Quinton Byfield with a second overall pick with the LA Kings. We knew it was going to be a long-term project. He played very well last season. You saw him skate. You saw him pair very well on the wing with Andrei Kopitar as the center. Probably a very good mentor to have in your career, right? So Quinton Byfield, I put his Future Watch inscribed, which is a rare card, as you know, on the 999 Future Watch that are autographed. The first 50 are inscribed with their NHL debut. So Quinton Byfield, to me, is a high risk, high reward player. Some of his cards, that's why I went with a rarer card that has higher value. But his cards are pretty cheap right now. But will he live up to all of the expectations that come with a second overall pick? That only future can tell. And also paired with Tage Thompson, who took a while. Also, like I said, big format players are take a long time to develop, and that's a certainty. That's what we see. And Tage Thompson is a great example of that. Had a breakout season with the Buffalo Sabres last season. Scored 5 goals in the same game. Had a lot of points. Had a lot of goals. And finished the season. Had some little injury, like small injuries, nothing too serious. But to me, he represent a high risk. Like, was it a once in a lifetime season, or can he establish himself as one of the best goal scoring center with a pretty young team with a lot of talent, a lot of upside, the Buffalo Sabres? Will he be the flavor of the season once again with the Buffalo Sabres, or one of his teammates will take his place? So to me, a little under $1,000 value there for both of these players. But this is a typical high risk, high reward scenario that we have here. And yeah, the last one. And I asked the question on my French podcast, and our community came back with a lot of this high risk option. Last year's first overall pick by the Montreal Canadiens, another big forward that is in the same style of Quinton Byfield and Tage Thompson, though he plays wings. Uri Slavkovsky, also also season-ending injury, which is very popular in Montreal with their players right now. Yes, I know. It's unfortunate, but also and it was to be expected for a young player that size. Was a bit underwhelming with the expectations. So I went with two of his cards, his YG PSA 10 that last sold for $135, and also the YG exclusives numbered out of 100 that sold for 700. If he continues to perform like he did last season and does not develop as a first overall pick, that was also picked by Montreal, so it comes with a lot of expectations, you could see his market dip even further down. But if he starts scoring goals like his teammate Cole Caulfield, wow, this has a lot of upside. This is probably the riskiest scenario that we have here on this week's episode. But this is the game, right? We went with a different scenario, and Uri Slavkovsky for sure is, to me, the most high risk, high reward player right now. Like I said, there could have been hundreds, thousands, tens of scenarios, and I'm looking forward in the comments to see who or what would you have done with this type of game. Low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward. And yeah, let's discuss, let's chat, and we will see each other in 2 weeks for another episode of the SlabStox Puck Drop. I hope to see you at the National next week. Take care, and hockey's coming back soon.